Before I start working today, I just wanted to get something off my mind quickly, and I'm putting it at the beginning of the video because it's something I feel strongly about this week, and I'd like to share it before moving on to the long, slow, boring process of chinking the cabin. So this morning I wanted to talk directly to my daughters, my nephews and nieces, and all the kids and young adults out there that are watching this video and who have been watching my channel and watching the cabin build. I read a funny meme or however you want to say it. French Canadian in me wants to say meme. And what it said was, don't be disappointed in yourself, that's your parents' job. Thought that was funny, ironic, and sad all at the same time because it appears to be true. But what I want to say to my daughters is that it's not disappointment. It's not disappointment. I can never be disappointed in you. What sometimes looks like disappointment is actually just concern and a wish for you to lead a happy and successful life and not make the mistakes that we made, not make any mistakes, and try to protect you from all the pain and suffering that's out there in the world. And that's all it is. It's not anything about control or wanting to instill our values or opinions on you. It's simply about trying to protect you and make sure you have a happy life. And I do feel guilt, and I think our generation feels guilt over the way we raised you. We grew up, I think, maybe having things a little bit too easy, and then we passed it down to you, and we made your life even easier than we had it. You know, when you complain about chores, we either did it ourselves or we hired a housekeeper. When you were hungry, instead of making a healthy meal, we took you to McDonald's. When you were bored on a long car drive, instead of singing songs or telling stories or playing games, looking out the window, we bought you a Nintendo DS. When you were bored at home, we got you computers and video games. Instead of preparing you for the real world, we made life easier for you. We thought that was the answer. We thought giving you everything you wanted and doing all your work for you and defending you from your teachers and your classmates and all the hurt out in the world, we thought that was helping you, not realizing it was doing a disservice, that we weren't preparing you for your life. We weren't preparing you for the hardships in life, and we weren't preparing you for the difficult world that we live in, and difficult society we live in, and the challenges that your generation has to face that even we didn't. You know, for the first time in history, our kids, my kids, and your generation are going to have less than us. You have less fresh water, less clean water, less clean air, less healthy food, less healthy soils to cook, to grow your food in. There's less fish in the oceans. There's less game in the forest. There's less forest, period. There's less wetlands because we've paved over them to put new stores in and new restaurants and new developments. There's less global stability because we've created a world where we're at conflict over another, we're fighting over the last remaining resources. And those resources are getting thinner, less abundant, and our population is growing. We're at 7 billion people on this planet now, and within your lifetime we're going to be at 9 or 10 billion people. And we are on a finite planet where the resources are limited. Now, I don't mean to scare you with all of this information, and I'm sure you know it, but it's just different. When you think about it, royalty of the past would love to have had the luxuries that we have, like indoor plumbing and, you know, electricity. If it's dark out, you flip a switch and the light comes on. If you want water, you turn on the tap and water comes out. If you want food, you go to the grocery store and you buy whatever you want, or you pick up the phone and order something in. These luxuries that we take for granted these days weren't available to people of the past, and not too long in the distant past. But we take those for granted and we complain that we don't have enough. It's unprecedented. Things are going backwards a little bit. I think it's a challenge, and it's an exciting challenge for your generation to fix the mistakes that my generation and the preceding generations made before us. And that is to stop consuming things in excess and be more efficient and be simpler and happier with a simpler life, and work together to make a better world. And we're passing this torch on to you, and we hope you do a better job than we did. You know, it's time for you to inspire us. It's time for you to set a good example for us, because we haven't done such a great job setting an example for you. Now, the people that are watching this channel typically, I think, are maybe the exception and are preparing for, you know, being more self-reliant. And I think that's what it comes down to. We need a self-reliant generation to pick up that torch and stop relying on somebody else to fix the problems out there. So I look forward to seeing what you do with this torch and how you make this world better, not only for us, but for you and your kids and the following generations. This is not practical for most people, but I think for me, it's setting an example for myself and you, my daughters, and all the other people out there watching this, to not snap your fingers and expect to have something appear before you, or expect to get everything you want just because you ask for it. Things take time, they take hard work, and if we want good results and we want greater rewards, then we need to sometimes take that path of least resistance and turn that down and follow the path of more resistance, where we put more work and time and effort into something, but the rewards are greater. Been doing nothing but chinking for 4 days, and it's just a slow, tedious job that doesn't have much reward as I'm doing it. At the end of the day, I'm going to end up with a warm cabin as a result. And I hope it's making you think a little bit more about what you're doing with your life and what your future plans are, and that it helps you on your path to self-reliance. All right, thanks for watching that video, guys. I mentioned I wanted to give some personal shout-outs to some of the younger people that are watching the video. I'm going to have to read this because there's a long list.